Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mitzvah Talk podcast with your host, Showtime. Thank you for joining me. Today, I have Cindy Albertini here to tell me about her mitzvah journey and just give some insight into her life. And we're going to highlight her today. And, she is one of our industry's great as an MC, a dancer, and also has her own company, which we're going to learn more about today. So, again, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Sydney.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me, sweetheart.
Thank you for having me. It is
No
such
problem.
an
Thank you.
honor. I'm
Thank
very
you.
excited to be here.
Oh, this
I
is
know we have so much to talk about.
yes, we do. We
So
do.
this
We
is very
certainly do.
exciting for me. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. So, I got my list of questions here. I'm prepared. I try to be prepared for these interviews here. So first thing, just to kind of get things going and give the audience a little insight on your background and bit. So, where did you grow up?
I grew up in South America, Paraguay.
Wow.
Yeah, I moved to this country when I was 10 years old. So English is my second language.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have that, you know, immigrant life that we talk so much about nowadays,
Right.
trying to get your paperwork in order. And it was only just a few years ago that I actually became a citizen, a US citizen. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Um, you
Worked
know,
very hard for that.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that's a journey for sure. Making that transition, into a whole new lifestyle. And what age was that? Like when
I was 10.
you were
Yeah.
10. Okay.
Yeah. Spoke no English. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And
Yeah.
and what was that transition like when you started to learn English? And was
So,
that
it
easy?
wasn't parts of it was very easy, parts of it was very hard. It was very easy in that I was 10 years old and just like ready to absorb and learn anything that was around me.
Wow.
So I think within 3 months I was understanding a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
At that young of at
yes,
that young
and
of
then
an
at
age.
six
Okay.
months I already spoke the language. Yeah, and then I still wasn't comfortable. I was able to communicate. I
Okay.
didn't, I was still insecure about speaking the language, but yeah, it
Right,
was
right,
over
right.
within 6 months. Yeah, I was taking all regular classes, the other kids in my grade, and
Okay.
math was the one subject that was easiest to understand. Obviously, numbers.
Right, right, right.
Everything else was
Okay.
challenging, but yep. So learning English wasn't hard for me. What was hard was, I think, fitting in,
Mm,
being an immigrant, being a Latina. I was in a town. I grew up in Kings Park, so it was, yeah,
okay.
mostly,
White.
all yeah, all
All white.
white.
That's Kings Park is
So
all white.
all white, and back then even more than it is
Yeah,
now.
right.
So it was. I think it was very tough for me and my brothers. There was really not many Latinos. Very, I mean, I could count on one
One
hand.
hand, right? And did you like befriend the few that were there?
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of okay.
yeah. So it was definitely being picked on and bullied and all of that, but I got through it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't
And that
easy,
just
but
shows a sign
yeah,
of your strength coming into, America and making that transition, and also shows your gift to pick things up
yeah,
quickly to kind of
yeah,
navigate things and kind of adapt to the world quickly, which is not always easy. Trying to fit in with a certain crowd, and you want to be nice, but they're not as nice back to you.
right.
You know,
The boys were
and,
nice to me.
oh, the boys are
Wink,
nice,
wink.
of course. Oh God, yeah, they're still nice to you. I'm
the,
sure.
the girls are even. The
I'm
boys were
sure.
nice. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but but yeah, that's a cool like you know a cool transition to making
right.
that happen for yourself and finding a place for yourself within that realm. Being in Kings Park and having to stand
Right.
out, but also in a way I think you kind of embraced it. Like
Yeah.
you know
Well,
what?
it got easier the second year around because I ended up. So I started in fifth grade. I got very lucky and I was able to skip sixth grade.
Okay.
So from fifth grade, I went into seventh. And then at seventh, it's almost like I got that second opportunity to get a chance to make friends again. And from there on, like I made some wonderful friends and everything was good.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But that
Nice.
first year was definitely really, really tough.
Nice. So
Yeah.
as you're transitioning through junior high school, now at this point, where did you find your love for dance? Like, where did that come from? I know the culture background a little bit,
So
but
I've
personally for you.
I've always loved dancing. So from the time that I was very little, family parties, I was always there dancing the
Yeah,
lambada,
yeah,
being 8 years old,
gotcha.
And then as I got older, I just loved parties. I loved people. I was always, into um being on the dance floor. I was the first one, any party, first one on the dance floor and last one to leave.
Same,
And that's from when
same.
I was little until today. Until today, I go out with friends, and I mean, the bouncers are like, please, ladies, can you leave? The night's over. We're shutting down. Lights are on. Can you please leave? And we're still like
Listen,
trying to
we're
dance.
from a generation
So,
of dancers that
yeah.
enjoy living in the moment, enjoy living in the music. We're not necessarily, today's people more so into their phones, and when they go out, everything's a video. But no, as dancers that truly love just the movement of it and the culture of it, you just want to vibe to the music. You're not
Yeah.
really worried about it. That's why time goes by and you're the last ones on the dance floor because you weren't thinking about looking at your clock. You're just enjoying that, living in that space. So yeah, you found this love for dance, and where did it take you to?
So I was never trained in dance
Okay.
until I got much older. So I started working in entertainment and always admiring all the dancers that were around me for all their technical skills. And I would always
Mm,
say, "Oh yeah, one day I'm going to take a dance class. One day I'm going to take a dance class."
yeah.
Um, and then another decade went by, and it wasn't until a later point in my life where I started training, and I started with Latin styles, so like
Okay.
salsa, bachata, the partner work.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I like that.
that was in my
Um,
30s. Yeah.
so as you found this love for dance, and you start to kind of navigate life. You attended Stony Brook University.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I also read that you got your master's in social work.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that college journey,
Uh,
and what made you
so
go into that field
yeah.
also.
So I went to Stony Brook for psychology. That was my undergrad degree. And I mean, I worked really, really, really hard. I'm the type of person that I'm like, it's all or nothing. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right.
Right.
So I really like got to like obsess with my studies. I didn't go full time. I would do, 3 classes here, another 3 classes the next semester, and then 2 classes in one summer. And then it took me longer because, I'm working and I'm doing so many other things, but I knew
Right.
that I wanted that degree. So I worked really, really hard. And yeah, and I graduated summa cum laude. Yeah, top of my class.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
then I guess I put that aside for a little bit, and I didn't get my master's until a few years after that. I
Gotcha.
went back to Stony Brook and I got my master's in social work. So that is what I'm supposed to be doing now, which I'm not.
I was
I'm
like,
still doing entertainment.
your Instagram
So
doesn't look anything like you're talking to,
yeah.
talking to people trying to help them out in the mental health aspects. But, um, so like, is is did you find it like once you got your master's, was it like, this is just not enough? Like, it just didn't feel like enough. Did you not feel fulfilled? Like, why didn't you become like a full-time social worker?
Well, oh,
You
here
got
we
your
go.
master's in social work, so
Here we go with the deeper stuff. So I was doing so much that part of it is that I think I got really burnt out. I was working a million parties. I was getting my master's degree. I was working my internship.
just pull the mic a little
I
closer.
was I was, running my own business. It was just a lot.
Wow.
And then I ended up getting sick. So after that, I think I really just focused. I put the master's degree aside and I started focusing on trying to take better care of myself and just healing,
Yeah.
which is where I'm at right now. I'm at a great place. So I'm
Good.
doing much better. Um, and it's maybe time to go back and revisit my prior plans with
Okay.
social work. But what ended up happening was that I also just ended up getting even more consumed by the entertainment industry. You know, we all say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this one more year," and then it
Yeah,
turns
yeah,
into
yeah.
2, 3 years, and
Uh-huh.
then
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna do one more year,
Yeah,
and then
yep,
another 2 years
yep.
goes by. So, um, yeah, I think I just ended up, instead of transitioning out, just getting deeper into it and getting more involved and doing more things and growing. And it was never really planned out. It wasn't like, oh, this is my
Gotcha.
goal, this is what I'm gonna do with my business. Like it all just happened. Like I just happened to become an MC. I just happened to become a business owner. I just, like, it all just,
Yeah,
I gravitated towards it and gravitated towards me, I guess.
yeah.
I was enjoying it. I was good at it. It felt right.
Right.
So I just continued being more and more involved.
I get that.
So here I am now.
Yeah.
Can't get out
So
of it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
taking that break from social work to kind of get your mental health in order and everything like that. During that process, you found even more love for the industry and got even more involved. And I can see how easy that can happen because to be in this industry for long term and have long, you gotta love it. There's some part of you that truly loves this business to commit to it, right? And that's what I found too. Like through the years, like I had to tell myself, like, wow, I don't think I want to do anything else, and I had to find ways to be more involved in the industry. Transitioning from dancer MC is like, okay, this is the weekend stuff, but how do I make this a full time career? So then I had to step into the main office and learn sales and learn behind the scenes and learn how the parties operated, learn how the guys did the setup. I was a great entertainer, but I needed to be well rounded in everything. So I got that opportunity and it was given to me and I took it and ran with it, and you know, 20 going on 21 years in the industry, it's been something that has been a blessing in disguise in a way because it truly does bring joy to me. And I'm a big believer on manifestation and, just law of attraction for me is like I'm surrounded by positive energy every weekend. Like that room for 5 hours or less, there's no worries, no concerns, no bad apples. Just everything in that room is joy that day, as much as we can be. But there's
Right.
some other things
Right.
that go, but for the
Yeah.
most part, joy is what takes over. So, yeah, finding that and sticking to with that, you gotta have a passion for it, or it won't work. A lot of people come and go in this industry. You know, like you said, sometimes it's part time and they come in for a stint or a season or two, and you're either gonna love it or you either gonna hate it, type of thing. So now that you've kind of stepping into that next chapter in your life where you've committed more so to the industry, how did you get introduced to the mitzvah scene? Like, where did that come from? Like, what
Um.
was that first party like, or for you?
So, uh, I was working at the Crest Hollow Country Club.
Crest Hollow.
So
Oh
Crest
my
Hollow.
God.
So I grew up working at Crest Hollow with my family. My dad, Willie, was a bartender. My mom, Marina, was a bridal attendant. My brothers were doing valet parking, and I was the key hanger for the valet parkers. So
Okay.
I grew up in catering, and in the middle of my shift, I would have a long break because all I had to do was help the valets hang the keys in the beginning of the party, then
Yeah.
give them out at the end.
Right.
So I would have hours of me just walking around the building,
So
hanging
Crest Hollow,
out,
going from room to room,
going
checking
to
out.
room to
Okay. Okay.
room, checking out the entertainers, all the parties, and I would see these bar bat mitzvahs happening, and I thought it was so much fun. It just looked like
It
it was
looked
just
like so much fun, right?
so much
Oh.
fun, and like what a cool job.
Yeah.
Like to be there
Yeah.
dancing with people, like what? So I went up to the MC and I said, "Hey, like how do I get involved? How do I work doing something like this?" He was like, "Well, can you dance?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can dance." He was like, "Can you do this step?" And he did a little two-step for me. And I showed him what I could do. He was like, oh, okay. And he handed me a card and he said, um, call us for an interview, and you can come down to the office and meet Ayala, was her name, and the company was Millennium.
Ayala,
They
that's
were talking about
hilarious.
back in the day. Yeah.
Ayala was a sales rep for us for some time
Oh, look at
from
that.
2017 to like 2023. She worked for us in doing sales, and she had worked for quite a few people in the industry for some time as a salesperson. But small world, yeah.
So
Our
she's the one
industry.
that interviewed me, and I guess she must have thought, I was
You were great and
cute, and she just hired me
loved it,
there,
love it.
and I was so excited. I remember $50 per event, and I was just
Ooh, we
so
could humble some of these kids today, boy. Let me tell you that, and that's the beginning where I also came from, where we had to
yeah,
earn our dollar, man. We had to earn it. We came in working for dirt cheap
yeah.
just to earn our place to say, you know what? Now I believe I deserve this. But
Right.
we took whatever it was. We were just happy to be a part of it.
I was so excited. Like the money, I would have done it for free. I didn't even care.
That's how I.
I
Oh my
didn't even
god.
care.
Yeah.
So, but she said it was going to be my first three jobs to train. It was going to be 50, and then from there, like
I think they moved like 175, 125 or
175,
something like that.
200, 225.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But let me tell you, back then already, I got to 300 very quickly.
Nice. And that was
Yeah.
top dollar.
Yep.
300
Yep.
was top
Yep.
dollar. Like that, if you came in as a dancer and you were making that type of money, that said you were either a strong caliber dancer where you could control a group of kids, you could control a crowd away from the MC. And like those are the dancers I respect. The ones that can hold a group on their own, move around, and kind of navigate the party without a mic, in a way. And those are
Right.
the talented ones that deserve the money, not the ones that stand on the corner of the stage clapping their hands, or the ones that are pretty but just pretty, no movement, no engagement, and but they want to come in and make $400,
Right.
and it's like that's
Right.
crazy to me. All right, so
Right.
yeah, begin humble beginnings.
Yep.
So after your first couple of trial parties, you
You're
said
gonna
yeah,
laugh. You're gonna laugh. I was terrified of the kids. I was
oh
so scared of them. I was
me,
so
that's so funny. I
intimidated.
said that in my first episode too.
Yeah.
I was in my first
Really?
part. I was
Okay.
super intimidated. Yeah,
Yeah. I was
cocktail hour had me so nervous. I didn't know what to say, what to do. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's how I started, with these knots in my stomach. Oh, and the cameras everywhere. And I'm like, ah.
Mhm.
So,
So true. So true.
but um I just loved the kids. I loved being around them. I loved hanging out with them. I loved dancing with them. Even though remember I wasn't trained as a dancer.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
the other dancers would actually make fun of me because they would make fun of me that I couldn't clap on beat. That I would be
I probably would have
but
poked a little fun at you too.
but you know what? All the kids were requesting me for their parties. Every single one of them. They were
Uh,
all like, "We want Cindy. We want Cindy."
that's
I
personality.
so
You can't
right.
replicate that or try to bring in another talent. You can't replicate personality. Personality is person. That's who you are.
So I was that girl that was really there, more the personality, more just the fun
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
Always high engagement with the kids, always being surrounded by 30, 40 of them.
Love
Like,
that. Love
and
that.
I loved it. I loved it.
Aw.
So
So all right.
yeah.
So now you're at this company. You're thriving as a dancer, and you're enjoying what you're doing, and now you're making a little more money a little more money doing it now. What was that? Did you go from one company to the next? Like, did you stay there for a long time? Like, how did you navigate into the industry more so before transitioning to MC and owning your own business?
Um,
Like
so
that middle ground.
right. So I went from Millennium to EJM.
Okay.
It was a friend that had referred me.
Okay.
So they called me, they put me on the party, and that's actually how I was telling you I was able to move up.
Got you.
Because then they had offered me this much. And then I went back to the company. I was like, sorry, I'm leaving
Yeah.
because another
Yeah.
company is going to be. And they were like, oh, no, we'll give you this. So then I went back to the other company. And I was like, well, they want to give me. And they're like, we'll give you.
Listen,
So
absolutely.
yeah. So that's how that happened. Yep.
Yep.
So I was working with EJM. I have to say that's really where I got trained on how to motivate, on how to work hard, on how to be high energy. I've learned a lot from that company and being
Love that.
surrounded by all those
And
performers. Yeah.
EJM is, I hear, from industry talks and meeting guys in the industry that, that's one of the pioneer companies here in Long Island that really set it off, the mitzvah scene here, and where a lot of guys branched off to and started to form their own businesses and
Right.
everything like that. They kind of came from that foundation and started to do their own thing, and then you start to kind of see the Long Island expansion of these events. So where did you stay home once you who
So
once the bidding war was over,
right,
like,
right. So I was with EJM for a long time, and but I was also doing parties for at that time. I think it was New York's Ultimate Entertainment, Richie Bamberger. So I was, his main girl for a long time. So it was really just those two companies that I worked for a
gotcha.
long time. Um,
Did you? I
but
also
then
I
yeah,
saw you worked with Egal for a while too, Mix Entertainment.
yes, yes.
I see you do a lot
But
of
that was
parties there.
more, yeah, that was more
That was
recently.
more recent.
That
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
within the past few years. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
So after your stint with EJM and everything, is that where you learned to get on the mic?
No, no.
No. Okay.
So, um, to go through the timeline a little bit. So I was working with those two companies, and I guess my name started to get passed around. And what happened was, I think the kids were requesting me at parties, and they would walk into other companies, and they'd be like, "Oh, I met this one dancer, Cindy. I want her on my event." And they would get my phone number, they would call me, and that's how I ended up working with newer companies. So
Hmm.
that's how I started to become a freelance performer. I became a freelance performer before I think most people were even
Even for
freelancing
yeah.
because that wasn't really accepted back in the
And
day.
no, it wasn't. It
It
wasn't.
wasn't.
It
So,
definitely wasn't when I came in for sure.
right. So every company had their own dancers, and then it was you're another company, you're a rival.
Yeah.
And
Uh huh.
you work exclusively with that company. That's who you represented.
Yep.
And God forbid they found out you were working for somebody else, you got fired. It's like you either
Yep.
with us or you're
Yep.
not. So that's where I come from
Good.
during that.
Yeah, loyalty was big in this industry because you want to the companies needed to be able to separate themselves with the talent. The talent is what truly separated us is the individuals and not necessarily the look. The setups all 9 times out of 10 could look the same, but the talent is what truly separated. So that I truly understood the loyalty aspect. Like that's why I've been ET since day one. I've never freelanced. Well, I wouldn't say I've never freelanced. I've
Yeah.
worked for other companies, party here, party there, but far as blatantly leaving my company to go, never. At this point now, I won't even take business with another company, especially not on Long Island. Like Mitzvahs on
Yeah.
Long Island for me is just a conflict of interest. It's like it just doesn't work. I want people to understand that I'm part of the ET brand. The ET brand is my home, and they don't ever have to question where I'm at or where they can get me from. No, this is the only place you can get me from.
Right.
So yeah, I understood
Yeah.
that loyalty aspect of it. So
And
uh,
there are a few companies that definitely right try to apply that and still work like that.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
their in-house people for sure.
for
And I
sure.
get
Yeah,
it,
yep.
that sets you up for success and it works. And then there's other companies that really are just okay with using a bunch of
Yeah, rent. Yeah,
freelancers and
yeah.
everything's subcontracted.
Right, right,
So I find that nowadays most companies work like that. It's all subcontract performers, the DJs, the MCs, the dancers,
right.
everything else. But even I'll tell you a story with ET. You know how I got started with ET?
Mm-mm.
So it was a kid that had requested me. They called me up and they were like, "Hey, we have this kid that wants you." But Andy, and that
Guy,
was Guy.
guy.
Yeah. It was all ET performers only, nobody else, no freelance performers, but they allowed me to come in and do a couple of parties if like clients were asking for me.
Right,
So then a lot of other companies started understanding, hey, wait a second, this works out for my company. If maybe we could have Cindy on the roster, if the client's saying they want her,
right,
it got so that's how I started to freelance and work for all these other companies. It
right,
really started from the kids requesting me for their parties.
right,
So I'm grateful for them,
right.
and that's how it began for me. Then the more companies I worked with, the more MCs and the more DJs I
You
started
met.
meeting,
Yep.
and
Different
then everyone
personalities.
works for a different company, and then came some referrals. And I remember this one guy um, asking me one time if I wanted to go work for this one religious company. It's like Orthodox, and I didn't really understand anything about that world. But I know that I was also very, very busy on Saturdays. And he told me, no, but these companies give you like Sunday work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep.
So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And another company that's going to give me all Sundays. That sounds great. So I reached out to this one entertainment company and I started doing events in skirt. I'm talking about like black
Yeah,
leggings,
yeah,
the
I see.
skirt
Yep.
over it,
Mm-hmm.
long sleeve,
Yeah,
and that's when I had my opportunity to grab the mic.
got you.
Yep, the owner told me one day, "Hey, I want you to do this party. You already know what to do. You've been working with the MCs a long time."
Wow, that much confidence to just give you a mic and go, like kind of throw you to the wolves a little bit,
I was
though.
never trained.
That
I
that
was thrown into the fire for sure.
yeah,
Right.
and that's a quick way to learn on the fly for sure. I had training sessions before I actually went on the
And I'm
actual mic, and
so jealous
I
of
was a
that. But
I
go
was a
on.
I was a
Yeah.
co-MC.
Okay.
I was able to be on the microphone alongside other MCs, and then also we had showrooms where we did trainings where we worked on what we said for entrance, what we said for candle lighting, and yada yada yada. We're all talented dancers and got energy, but now it's the emceeing was to control it. How can you control that energy? How can you navigate that energy through the party? Going from handling the entrance and or adjusting yourself based on the crowd's energy.
Right.
Sometimes I'm sold as this over the top energy MC, but sometimes the crowd's that's not necessarily for them. So I learned to adapt too. So I kind of stopped selling myself as that and more so just as a well-rounded MC
Hmm.
versus a high energy MC because high energy is not for everybody. And I
Correct.
don't want to just do one particular crowd of parties. I want to do them all. So I had to kind of adjust. So making that adjustment as an MC, like you had to learn that, and not every crowd is going to be the same. Not every kid is going to be the
Correct.
same. You're dealing with different personalities
And I wish
every
all
weekend.
MCs knew this. Till this day, MCs
Y-
that have been in the industry for a long time don't know that. So
Yeah, they don't. They think the
it's,
same
yep,
stit is
cookie
gonna
cutter,
every
just try to do the
time.
same thing for
Boom, boom,
every
boom.
crowd,
Yep.
and it doesn't work.
Yeah, you can
It doesn't
the
work.
same jokes, the same like sometimes the joke's not gonna hit. Maybe this crowd isn't that open, or maybe they're a little more conservative, and you got to take a step back and not be so overwhelming to them. So you that just comes with time. You start to learn and really pick that up. And if you care
Right.
enough, you pick that up. If you don't care enough, then you're just going through the motions to get
That's true. You
you're
have
going
to
through the
care.
motions to get
Yep.
your check. So if you don't truly care about that particular client and took the opportunity to either really have that go over where it's some MCs don't talk to the client until the week of if they don't work in the main office. Like me, I now talk to the clients through the whole process. So I'm now feeling them out through the whole thing. I'm getting personalities, how the dad likes, what the mom likes, what's the kids into, and it's not just that hour conversation Wednesday before the party on
And
Saturday.
that's how you know exactly what to give them on
Yeah.
their event.
Now I know
How else do you
what
know?
dancers
Right.
to book. Now I know what
Yeah.
DJ to put on. And it's really paying attention. And some companies don't go that extra mile to do that. They book the party, they book their staff, but not really catering to that particular client. They're just hoping for the best. But I'm like, that's not always a good recipe, and this also could be a recipe for disaster too. When you just throw anybody onto a party, thinking that it's just another gig. That's not the case. And I always play for my next party in the room too. Like clients there, they're shopping. They're shopping. They're always looking. Eyes are open. That's what
Hmm.
team always be on your A game. Always present yourself in a way you don't know what kid is next. There's 100 of them in the room. There's at least 7 of them I'm gonna do throughout this year. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one of them. So befriend everyone. Be nice to
Right.
everyone. I tell dancers all the time. Sometimes they want to get upset with the kids. I'm like, they're 12 and 13. What do you
Right.
expect? Well, how did you act when you were 12 and 13? Yeah, sometimes they're gonna be tough, but you need to be able to adjust and adapt to that because for that particular time. We're only there for 4 or 5 hours. You're not going home with these kids. You're not babysitting these kids after that. You need to befriend them for 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, a big part of walking into these events and reading the crowd is huge. With any MC dancers. But this is great. I
Yeah.
absolutely love this.
But it
But
takes a special gift, I think, to be able to read a crowd and adjust and give them what they want.
yeah, hundred
It's
percent.
yeah.
Um, at this
So
time now,
it's not easy for everyone
yeah,
to learn.
no,
Yeah.
no. And again, it's,
A
it's
lot of
just
common sense. You gotta have the
oh my
common
god, a
sense.
ton of
So right,
common
social
sense.
skills, high
Yeah,
social skills, lots of common sense, and
and
yeah,
seeing someone's uncomfortable and still continuing to do it is the pet peeve of mine so much in this industry. Like,
right,
yo, they got one night to shine. They got one night to make this happen the way they envision, And that's the tough part too, is make it to bring their vision to life of what they imagined this party was going to be. They got one time to shine, and what you're doing is embarrassing them, like making them feel uncomfortable. Or I seen MCs sometimes would stop the music and banter with somebody, like with a guest. I'm like, to
Mm.
me,
Mm-mm.
that's a game show host. Like that's not really what we're there for. Like to stop the music and talk to the crowd and tell a joke. Like if it hits, congratulations to you. But if you get zero response, they're now gonna remember that moment that was like, what the fuck? Why did that just happen? Why did he do that? And they're gonna forget everything else good you do at that party because you did that one moment and that
Right.
highlight. So
Right.
it's tough. I tell guys, be very careful on what you do far as what your niche is with the crowd, because it can make or break you. Um, you know, I could go talk about MCs all day,
Yeah,
but back
yeah.
to you. This is about you. This is about you.
So, oh, so you were asking
Yeah,
how
my
I started emceeing,
yes.
right?
So they gave you the mic.
Yeah.
That he kind of just threw it to you for that first party.
No, no training. It was just like, here you go. And the thing was that I had seen it all. My advantage was that I had worked with so many different MCs, so many different styles, so many different companies. I got to see what everyone was great at. I got to see their
Yep.
imperfections. I
Yep.
got to see what worked,
What
what
didn't
didn't
work?
work.
Yep.
You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Paying
And
attention for sure.
right. So I knew all this as a dancer,
Yeah.
working hundreds and thousands of events. So I was like, okay, now I just have to apply that to me as an MC.
You're right.
And I remember it was all girls, right? Where was the event? I'm gonna say maybe somewhere in, was it Jersey? And all girls, and I went in and I was so nervous. I was so scared and so nervous, but at the same time, I was so excited to make them all happy and to make sure that every single kid in that room had an amazing time. That was my goal, for all of them to just have a blast no
Yeah.
matter what. So I've always, and that's the thing about me, is I always made it about others. It's
Yeah.
never about me, ever.
Thank
So,
you.
yep.
Thank you for saying that. Oh my God, that is amazing to hear, because the egos in this industry is like, bro,
Yeah.
no one cares at the end of the
Yeah.
day about your status or how popular you are. That family cares if their child that night has a great time, and that's what they're looking for, like creating memories. This is so big as an MC.
Yeah.
Our job is to create memories. It's not about us. For me as an MC, one of the big things I do is I create a moment. I'll bring a mom in, dance with her, but then I'll step back and I'll call her husband over. That's your moment. That's for you guys. I step out of the camera because I don't want them to watch their video back and it's me in every single shot, like every single here.
Right.
It's like it, this is about their friends, their close friends, their family that flew in from overseas, and it's about them. So when they watch that video back, it's not the Showtime show. I helped create those moments, and that's what I'm grateful for. I'm that I was able to do that for you that day, and that's what they're grateful for me. And they come, and that's what the thank you letters are for. But that's what I want to see a thank you letter about the amazing time
Right.
they had and all the things that the moments that they had with their kid and the little things that they remember, the stage moment or when he was on someone's shoulders or when we tossed him in the air. Those moments, they rarely really remember the decor and what went on in the room and what the room looked like, but they will remember if that party sucked or not. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And they will remember like standout moments because we're the voice, and that's another thing too.
Right.
Like I I tend not to be the continuous voice, like just bantering over and over and over every song. Sometimes just let them sing. They just want to sing their favorite song. They don't need you singing every word on the microphone. So, but so hearing you say that and
Yeah. Love your style. I love all this.
yeah,
This is great. Yeah.
to hear you say that and know like yeah, it's not about us, man. Yeah, we're a big part of helping create that celebration, but that's just it. We help create that celebration, and we kind of take a step back. We don't need to be in every shot. So yeah, hearing you say that,
Yeah.
man,
And
it
then
brings joy to my ears.
later on, if you want, we can also talk about those things like that that I try to teach to all my dancers,
Yeah,
everyone on my
yeah.
crew. Things like, hey, don't block the camera. It's not about
Um,
you.
so I
Yeah,
want to go
but
into.
yes,
So now that you're kind of in this, you're in this industry now. You've been a dancer. You're a strong dancer. You're making good money. You're now transitioning and learning the microphone as you start to navigate, parties on your own and controlling the parties. How was that navigating as a woman in our industry, knowing it's a dominantly male, uh, dominantly male industry when it comes, especially comes to MCs and the owners at that. How was it navigating as a woman and being and having the success that you have? Because that's not always the case for women in this industry.
right. So very, very difficult, extra challenging for sure.
Wow.
Being a woman in this industry, um, trying to this is a thing. Okay. If I because it's not just about being a woman too. It's just like who are you and how you're coming into the scene,
Mm,
right?
okay.
Let's say that I had a father who owned a big entertainment company and he was making me an MC. It would be everything would be so much easier if my mom was a big party planner and I
Mm,
was coming in as her assistant.
yep.
Everything will be easier for me also. But you have to remember where I come from.
Right.
I
Yep.
come from being a dancer and then working my way up. And then a lot of people um, that I was working with, instead of being happy for everything I'm achieving, being threatened by it, the male energies. Like,
Mm,
you were a dancer now. Oh, so you think you're gonna MC like I MC now? So I started to
nasty
get
egos out
I
here, man.
started to
Nasty
yeah,
egos.
I started to get that from male MCs that I thought were even friends. They did
Wow.
not like it. Yep, but I
Why?
have
Did it feel like you were taking work or just intimidated? That's
yeah,
crazy to me because if
yeah.
anything, embrace that because it's not like there's a I can count maybe on one hand how many female MCs are in that industry, especially here in the tri-state area. So it's like, why not embrace that? Because if that was that was something that we could have at a company where we can say we also have a female MC, that's a plus to the brand.
Right,
Like
right.
I think most brands would embrace it, especially if you're good at it. Um, you know, which so I find that a little weird that egos came into. No, I take that back. I don't find it weird. Just because I know
Yeah,
guys,
you don't find it
I know
weird.
guys, I
No,
know guys in
yeah,
this industry, so no, I
yep,
don't find it weird.
yep. So, and then there's all the company owners, right?
Yeah,
And that became difficult in owning my own business and supplying dancers because now they're paying me for a service and then they feel like, oh, they can I'm nobody. Who am I? They'll just backstab me, you know?
wow,
Right. So
not,
that
not like not pay.
all of that for sure.
Wow,
Right. Or try to just
steal
next time just
steal your dancers, go
right
directly to the source.
exactly.
Oh man, we see a lot of that.
That has been an issue. And then there's other companies where they did give me the opportunity to MC, but let me tell you, like not the same pay. It's
No,
almost like, well, I'm kind of doing you a favor to MC. It's people really want men, they don't want the woman, so you're gonna get paid less.
I think the clients needs to decide
Yeah,
that, and the client wants a particular person, male or female. Like their pay shouldn't affect like the client. Whatever that MC is making to be on the microphone to do a 5 hour party, that's what they should be getting paid. Like it is a bracket of stuff. Like in a sense of when you're first coming in, yeah, you're gonna make a certain amount of dollars. Once you prove yourself and feedback starts to come in, so and so did a great job of my party. Okay, now you kind of go into that next tier, and now it's like where, all right, you know what? You're being requested almost 10 times a year, if not more. Now you're into another bracket, and that's kind of that third bracket is kind of where you stay as an MC. It's kind of where you stay at. So to not have equal pay, like what time period are we living in? Like to this I've watched women work in this industry as motivators work 10 times harder than some of the guys that come onto the parties. And to say like that male needs to make more money because just because he's a male is crazy in our industry. Like it doesn't make any sense because I literally have watched women work harder than most of the male dancers in our industry. Because 9 times out of 10, most female dancers they usually stay motivators. They usually just stay. So those motivators are strong as hell because that's all they focus on. That's all they do.
Right,
That's all they
right.
focus on. So of course they're going to be great at it at some point. So yeah, I'm sorry to even hear that. Not being getting that type of equal pay. But go ahead.
And I know because I get to work with these MCs. I see their skill level.
Yeah.
I know my skill level, right? As an
Right.
MC, I could do the comparison and then I can see like no offense to some of the guys out there, but they're just I'm sorry, they just
Yeah.
get really lazy.
Ooh.
They, you know what I
Ooh.
mean? They do the bare minimum.
Yep. Walk
They're
through the motions, announcements.
right. They're not even that great, but meanwhile, they're getting paid a lot more than I would be getting paid.
Right.
You
And
know? So,
that's
and
sad.
meanwhile, I'm coming in working 5 times harder, doing a better job, but then when it comes to paying me, it's a lot less than the other guy that sucks.
And it's
So, how
also
is that fair?
no,
You
it's
know?
not. And it's
Yeah.
also up to that person that's selling you too. It's a lot. It starts with the sales rep. The sales rep, if they don't have the confidence enough to talk highly of you in the same realm as the other MCs, they might as well not make you an MC because that's not fair to
Right.
what I realize is over the years and you know my earlier days the company would do things like this like it would be like a tier bracket of MCs from high to low. And as I start to get more and more involved in behind the scenes, I had to realize like nah, these guys need to be trained across the board. Like we can't have one strong MC and the rest mediocre. Like no, we all have to operate on the same field because yeah, I can't do 6 parties in a weekend. The company has up to 12, 15 parties sometimes in a weekend. I can't do them all. We want the business to come back. We have to make sure these guys are executing it on the same, caliber across the board. And, sometimes that's tough to do, to get people to work how you want them to work. You know,
But it's
um,
amazing that you're providing the training
yeah, you got to
for
give it to them.
them.
You got to give
Yeah.
it to them. Like,
I am so
mhm,
jealous of these MCs coming in getting trained because
yeah,
I never got that opportunity. No
yes.
one
What?
ever said,
So,
let me train you. And even right now, I find that companies because I'm a freelancer and I'm not just with one company
they don't want to.
only
They don't want to.
nobody wants to train me.
They don't. Yeah,
They'll
they don't want
hire
to.
me, they'll
Yeah,
hire
yeah,
me,
yeah.
they'll give me the
Because they don't want to
job.
put. They feel like they don't want to put the time into you and invest into you if you're not going to be with them full time.
Right,
And I
right.
get that.
So
I get that aspect of it. Um. So yeah, you gotta wear your heart on your sleeve and just say fuck it. I'm
I
going for it.
taught myself.
I'm
I
going
had to.
for it.
It was
Yeah,
just me, myself, and I. No one
yeah.
else.
But even
Right.
some of the newer MCs, like I don't want I'm not. I don't want to trash talk anybody, but some of the newer MCs, like when you say mention lazy, is like the swag has done that to a lot of MCs. Like they have now banked on that being how they engage the kids, and without it, they're lost. And it's like I've come from a time where it was glow
Right.
sticks and fedora hats and sunglasses. Like kids
Correct.
didn't give a shit about.
We didn't have any
I
swag.
had to
Right.
do follow-alongs for 4 hours to like
Mm-hmm.
really dance with these kids. Now you're just kind of waving a jersey with their hands in your face, and it's like China got to change that. And that's another reason why my clients come to me too, because I try to eliminate that aspect as much as I can. Will I eliminate it? No, because it's the fucking norm now and it's not going anywhere. So I have to try to navigate through that and still show that, no, we're talented. My dancers, we really got talent. These dancers are in BDC in Manhattan, Broadway Dance Academy, and going on tour with artists. But you don't see any of that because they're running back and forth to boxes. And it's like, the aspect of being entertainers is kind of diminishing a bit. And it's like, no, we want to dance. We want to do pirouettes. We want to B-boys want to break. Like we want to show you guys that we got skills, and that's why the company hired us.
Mm-hmm.
I got a talent where, I'm a great dancer. I want to engage. I'm not there to out dance the guests. I'm not battling every person on the dance floor, but we have this gift that's why you hired us to begin with. But then we're stuck with 19 boxes of stuff to give away. I'm like,
Right.
yo, I'm running behind the screen all freaking night. Like, and you're not realizing what it's doing. So a lot of MCs have settled for that. They have settled for just, all right, we got jerseys. let's go. And it's like, all right, when you run out of jerseys because your team was trigger happy and all the stuff is gone, what are you doing for the last hour and a half of the party when the kids don't want to engage with you? You got to have tricks of the trade. Now you got to come up with that song. You got to have that song in the back of your head. Like, you know what? This one to pull them out. This one to pull them out. And with music, you got to be up to date with music, man.
Right.
Stuff gets produced so fast these days. A single comes out every other week, like with these kids. Like we used to wait for an album, a CD to come out, right? And anticipated that for months. Now these kids get singles. TikTok drops a song every other week, some trend. So I literally have to go online and look at music and study music, because something new comes out every. The attention span of these
Yeah.
kids are so short these days. Like one song
Right.
could be popular 2 months ago. Now coming today, it's kids are like, oh no, we don't want to hear that anymore because they're on to the next trend so fast.
Right. Right.
So a lot of MCs don't catch on to that. They don't stay in that realm of staying up to date with the kids
You
and just
gotta stay current.
and just
You have to.
utilizing
Yeah.
the stuff that they have. And it's like, swag is it's fun, but navigate it to the point where it doesn't feel like that's the party. Like you can't make that. Like these people spend so much money, and to make it seem like we just work at Macy's on Black Friday and just handing out clothes all freaking party is like, nah, we got since that's the norm now, let's find ways to navigate that. Spread the swag out, stretch it to the end of the party, have segments of it. Don't just for free for all at all. And learn to navigate it and stop it for a second too. And also let's sing, guys. Let's come out here to the middle of the dance floor. Let's get away from the front of the stage with our hands up the entire time. Photographers, videographers will appreciate you for it because they don't want the video to just
Right.
be the kid standing in the middle of the stage handing out T-shirts the whole time. 'Cause that looks like they didn't do their job. No, you want to the videographers, the ones that truly shoot, they appreciate that because you're moving them around, you're creating memories where they have a video, and it's not just they might as well just set their camera up and stare at the stage
Right.
and not move it at all because that's where everything is. So over time, guys tend to learn that. But I think, yeah, lazy is a big thing in our industry right now. With MCs that settle, and unfortunately, and then that's sad. Um, where I'm at now. Oh my God, we have been having such a great talk. I love this, and you can just tell that we both truly love the industry. Um, so now you have navigated the industry to the point where you're one of the popular freelancers in the industry. You're highly requested. You're emceeing at times. Now making that transition, and you mentioned it already a little bit, but now to elaborate it on a little more on that transition of starting your own company. Like you said, you supply dancers, and like, how did that
Yeah.
navigate to where you even got a pool to even put out? Like, how do you recruit these girls one on one? Like, how did that work out?
So everything in the industry, I think, developed for me very organically, all very natural, without me setting a goal, without me trying to do something. It kind of like just happened.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll tell you how. I'll tell
Okay.
you how.
Just,
So
I wish our business would just happen for me too.
So I'll tell you how. One was the emceeing when someone was just like, "Here, take the mic. You're gonna do this party, and just you're gonna be fine." And by the way, that party went great. So it was a school party, and then a whole bunch of girls requested me to MC their bat mitzvahs, and then that's how then I became the bat mitzvah MC,
Okay.
all from that one event. So it kind of like
Gotcha.
just
Okay.
it just happened. I was terrified. I didn't even want to do it at
Okay.
first, and my boss was like, "You'll be fine. Just do it. Just do it." So that
Mm.
happened naturally. Then, because I was meeting so many dancers everywhere, I had a huge contact of people just in
Talents,
the industry
industry.
and
Yep.
talents and everything else. And then companies would call me and they'd be like, "Oh, Cindy, for next Saturday, the event that you're doing, do you think you could bring a friend with you? We need another
Oh,
dancer.
gotcha,
Can you
gotcha, gotcha.
bring not just a friend, but
Yeah, no, I got
another
you. I
another
got you.
dancer,
Another talent. Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, let me check with my such friend. I would call them, they would be like, "Hey, you want to do this event with me?" And I would bring that person. And then the next time around, they would be like, "Oh, your friend was great. Can you work with her again next week?" Well, she's not available, but I might have someone else. I would call another friend, someone else, bring the
Mm.
next person, right? So then I just got known as this girl that would always just be like
Supply.
supply.
Yeah.
Um, And then I started getting calls for me to help them out on events. I wasn't even working. It was just like, hey, can you give us a dancer? Hey.
Yeah.
Then it was just taking up so much of my time. And then anyone ever needed a dancer, they would just be like, call Cindy, call Cindy, call Cindy. Now, people that even don't even know that I've never worked for are calling me saying, oh, yeah, I hear you know a lot of dancers. I need two of them for, in 2 weeks. Can you refer us some dancers? So now I'm spending time contacting people, waiting to hear back from them. Can they do it? Can they not do it? They are going to do it. Never mind, Cindy. Something changed. I can't do it
Mm.
now this Saturday. Getting someone else to replace them because now I feel responsible.
Right,
And
right,
then,
right.
then all of a sudden, it was just like I was being consumed by just
Doing favors right now.
doing
Yeah.
favors for everybody. It was
That's what
just
it sounds like.
favors
A whole
all the
lot of
time.
favors. Yeah, it's
And
crazy. Yeah.
it just got to be too time consuming
Yeah.
that I've decided to then just turn it into a business. Like,
You
hey, you
know
know
what?
what?
I need
Charge
to
a
get
little.
paid for this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you decided to charge a little more for the dancers, of course. To, it's a business. You want to make your money.
Mhm.
And the success of that. How long has that been now?
Man. Um, like I can't even tell you like which was the year that
Right,
I
right.
got started. But I'm gonna say maybe after COVID is when it really started to
Really?
boom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was really after COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my thoughts to you. One of my last questions to you, I should say. What do you think of the industry now versus your early days? Like, what do you think the parties?
I think it's
Like, what is it? What does it feel like to you at the events? Like, in a way, personally for you.
it's totally different. It is completely different. Um but I'm okay with it. You have to give the clients what they want. You
Yep.
have to give the kids what they want.
Yep.
And like I was saying before, it's not about us, it's not about me.
Yep.
Even though I don't think the way they go about things, their culture now is, I don't think it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's fun for them.
Right.
So I have to learn to adjust to them and party in a way that they party.
Right.
Like there's
Right.
a lot of the MCs in the industry that come from, the old school days
Yeah.
where
Yep.
parties were rocking, no swag, we're doing follow alongs,
Yep.
hours straight, everybody was
Yep.
dancing. One dancer had 30 kids here, another dancer had 20
Yep.
there,
Four
another one
corners, I used to call it. Four corners.
right, like we were just, and then everybody was rocking, everybody was dancing. Now it's not really like that anymore. It's like we're on stage, usually we're
Mm-hmm.
handing out the swag, the
Mm-hmm.
kids are kind of just staring at you, waiting to get the
Yep.
prize. Like, it's very, I think it's very different.
It is very
It's
different.
very different. But I guess we have to adjust to their culture, how they grow up, what they like, what they're into, and give them, that's what they want.
Right.
Then I have to give them that.
Right.
And then I have to also tell myself to enjoy that. If that's what
Yeah.
it is, accept it for what it is
Yeah.
and just roll with it. I'm not going to try to make it like it's 2005
Right.
again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Right.
they're
Eh,
going to look at me like I have two heads.
I tell people it's
You
hard to
know?
try to turn back the wheel, and it's hard
Yeah.
to reinvent the wheel. And it's like you kind of got to navigate on what's the now, and that's because of the kids. They will eventually, and I feel like it will transition back because not only is the talent kind of over it, the clients are kind of getting over it too. Like you'd be surprised how many clients come in and don't even want to hear about the swag. They're like, oh, they make that face about it, but they know they got to go get it because they don't want to be the first party without it, type of thing. And I've also learned that it's only certain areas. The kids
It
are
doesn't apply to
they're not that does
everybody.
not
No, it does
apply
not.
to all the
Yep.
Long Island is done. It's swag
Mhm.
central. Everything is swag in Long Island. I go to Connecticut, kids up there give two shits about it. They don't care. They got it. If they win a T-shirt, they're ecstatic. Oh my God, I can't believe I just got this T-shirt. But you also see how the kids are genuinely showing up for the guest of honor. They didn't. it's 70 kids, but 70 kids that genuinely like that guest of honor. I'm watching crowds of 120, and your kid is friends with like 10 of them. They're not even friends. Like, and that also the intimacy of the kids isn't there either. So now these kids are genuinely showing up for swag. No, what do you have? What are you giving out at your party?
Right.
And I'm
I
like,
mean, during
that's
cocktail hour, they're coming up to us.
before the
What
party
do you
starts.
give me? What do you have? Do you have pajamas? Do you have sweatpants? Do you have hoodies?
And I'm
What
like,
do you
that's
have?
not why you're here
That's the
tonight.
topic in cocktail
That's
hour.
not why you're here tonight. And
Right.
that is the norm now too. And I always tell the kids like, that's not why you're here, right? And I'm like, yeah, but what do you have? And it's like, but I gotta be the cool MC. I gotta be that guy for 4 hours. I can't have them not like me. So I gotta be like, yeah, we got some cool swag in the back. Yeah, I need to see you out there rocking. Got to earn that jersey. You know that, right? It's like I got to see you performing. Let me see you rocking that dance floor for
Right.
for Melissa's bat mitzvah. I got to see that. And you try to explain that to the kids and encourage them to dance prior. Take advantage of that hour to talk to them about the swag, to really let them know, like, yo, I got to see something out there. You want them pajama pants? I got to see you rocking for the guest of honor. You got to be out there singing. Because when you just say, yeah, I got you, they just walk up to you and say, you said you were going to give me a pair of sweatpants.
Right.
And they expect you to stop what you're doing, walk behind the booth, and go get them a pair of sweatpants. It's like, hold on. This is not how it works. So I tell dancers all the time, like, be careful. Don't pre-promise. I tell guests of honors all the time, and I'll go over meetings. Don't pre-promise to your friends. It's going to turn off the rest of your friends because you're going to give to your core bestie group. I don't know your bestie group, but all those kids know. And they're going to be like, well, he's just giving to so-and-so and so-and-so. It's
Right.
like, turns them off. Now they're in the lounge. They don't even want to be a part of your party anymore. Now, also, when they do decide, they're giving out the swag and making sure everyone gets and yada yada yada. And that's the right way is to spread it out. And I tell the give to that kid you don't normally give to. You don't normally talk to. Give to that kid. That kid you don't normally hang out with, but you invite him to your party. You invite the whole grade. So make that kid feel like, wow, I came to Ethan's bar mitzvah and Ethan got me a jersey, man. And knowing he never gonna hang out with Ethan again, other than that party, and that I'm like, do that for me at the party, and they get that, and the parents appreciate that too. And I
You
say,
have social worker character.
oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's I see the good and the bad. I see kids get sad over it. Like to have a kid come up to me towards the end of the party and be like, "Showtime, I didn't get anything." It's like, man. I go look in the boxes, try to find something. I was like, yo, we gave out everything because that's my job to give out everything by the end of the party. So now I feel bad because I'm like, yo, this kid is genuinely sad. Like they didn't get anything. And it's due to a lot of guest of honors given to the same group or dancers not really acknowledging that kid that's off to the side. It's like, yo, I know our job is to engage these kids on this dance floor, but like, yo, sometimes these kids, like, they got invited because the whole grade got invited. So they're just here. They don't have no friends here really. Then make that person feel special for showing up. Yeah. And then the pressure that these kids deal with. There's another thing that bothers me. Like you have to be the guest of honor that has 19 boxes, or like your party wasn't lit. It's like that's not fair. Some people can't afford to have 19 boxes of swag. Like, and it's in certain towns in certain areas. Not everyone in Roslyn is spending $60,000. Not everyone in Plainview is spending $60,000. Like some people all have a budget and they can't afford to have that many boxes. So they can't have as much swag as the last party that they went to. And now that kid is like, I feel bad because now they got to go to school on Monday. And that's the talk. They didn't have this and at their party. Like I know some of the schools had banned wearing the sweatshirts to school on Monday because some kids weren't invited. Like how
and then they feel left out.
They feel making kids feel left out. I'm like, this is what the swag has done. You're making these kids feel upset and obligated that they have to have this stuff, that it's necessary to be at these parties. But it's drilled in so much where, like I said, even the companies, we have made it a norm thing. People have made ways to make money off of it and sell it. So I no, not knocking any swag vendors that sell it, make your money. But at the same time, like we got to find a way to recreate these parties within this swag, because the things that happen to these kids are just not fair and it's not nice. Seeing a kid, I've seen kids get shoved out of the way.
Oh yeah.
Push, like
yeah.
Little kid. I think he might be a cousin. Don't even know the kids. Shoved out of the way. It's like, and I'm gonna make sure that kid gets something because that's just not fair. Like to see that happen. The jerseys.
Sometimes when the guest of honor just throws the
I was
prize,
literally about to just say
and
that.
it goes in the air, and then you just see 10 kids jump for
I,
it. Now they're on the floor and they're wrestling and they're
part of my
throwing and
swag rules. Part of my swag rules. Don't throw the
right.
goddamn jersey into the crowd because you are now stopping me from doing what I'm doing as an MC
Hmm.
to go down and break up a mosh pit fight, a tug of war fight,
Right.
kids rolling on the ground. I gotta pick kids up,
Yep.
making sure no one gets hurt. That's literally 2 minutes of me doing that when I could be engaging the crowd and having fun and creating moments. But I gotta stop to do that. So I tell God, please do your best. But kids are gonna be kids. They think it's funny.
Kids are kids.
Kids are funny.
Yeah.
They think it's funny.
Yeah.
They chuck it. They laugh. They watch their boy struggle on the floor. They think it's funny. But as entertainers behind the scenes, we're like, oh, you're killing us. I try to tell the parents, please, I need you to kind of reiterate it, like to them, like you gotta
Right.
really be in their ear about it.
Yeah.
Like or sometimes we have like the siblings of the party and they get trigger happy with the swag. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
little bro, it is not your party tonight. I need you to slow down.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to help my sister out. And it's like, ooh, okay. Help your sister. You know what? Here's your little box. Here's some stuff. This is your box. Don't and nothing else
Anything
is
else.
yours.
Yep.
This is your box.
Yep.
When this box is done, you are done. And the clients appreciate that too. Like, cut the kids off so they can have fun. She should be singing. They should be dancing, taking the mic from me, rapping their favorite songs, and not going.
Right.
For 4 hours. It's like,
Right.
so
And to me, I'm like, how is that fun for you?
No.
How is that fun for you?
even for the crowd, it's like adults too. They're no better than the kids. They're no better than the kids. And that's the ones that are like obnoxious about it is like, really? You, here's my kid. Check out my baby. This is my baby. Your baby is 2.5 years old. What is he gonna do with this jersey? Like,
Right.
this jersey, like, this for the kids, and then they guilt trip you, and you just give it away. Because honestly, I don't want to spend more than 15 seconds dealing with you. So it's like, yeah, go back to your party so I get back to what I'm doing. So yeah, it has changed the industry so much where it's unfortunate, it's sad, but at the same time, like you said, like we got to do what we need to do for the client that night, and it's whatever they need, no matter how difficult it is for us. We can't tell them that, oh, this is gonna be a really tough party for me tonight. Unfortunately, never. I'm never saying that to a client. But yeah, sometimes we know walking in like, oh, I'm gonna have my work cut out for me tonight. Like,
Yep.
we got 180 kids
Mhm.
and like 20 boxes of swag, and it's like, all right, and I got to be the guy to still create memories, to still create vibes, to still make sure everything happens the way we spoke about it, timeline, and following that. Things are always subject to change, but for the most part, these timelines don't change. Everyone's doing the same order of events, really. Nothing really changed much in that sense. But you try to get people the most out of the party. Now, formals are cut short. No one wants to do 13 candles, 14 candles. They're all like, yeah, no, we're going to skip candle lighting. It's like, there goes that dancer break. And
Right.
dancers are like, oh, no formalities. Like, listen, they're now like lounge club parties. They've transitioned more so into that versus your formal country club sit down, sit for salad,
Mhm.
back up on the dance floor, sit for dinner, back up on the dance floor, sit for montage, back up on the dance floor, sit for speeches, back on the dance floor. That stop and go really doesn't happen as much. I'm going 4 hours, like 4 hours, and I'm only stopping really for montage. Like, that's it, and that's what they're expecting from you. And it's like, yo, that's kind of messed up. That's what you're expecting from me at this point to.
But
to
the guests also get tired. So you can't expect for us to be high energy with the guests, high energy for hours straight.
yeah,
Like,
and
they're gonna get tired too.
Yep.
So you're trying to keep it that way for hours straight, but then you're gonna have points on the dance floor when it just looks dead. Better off give them that break and then bring them back with high energy again, as opposed to just having those moments where
yeah.
everyone's exhausted and they're
And I
just
tell people now, like,
yeah.
don't do a 5-hour party. Stop doing 5-hour parties because of you cutting so many formalities out. Stop doing the 5-hour party. You need to do either 4 or 4.5 with an hour cocktail.
Yeah.
That allows for your party to end on a higher note versus people leaving at dessert. And people aren't leaving at dessert because your party sucks. They're leaving because they're tired as hell. They have
Right.
just rocked this
Right.
dance floor for hours for you without sitting because this is the type of party you wanted. And now that last hour happens where dessert comes out They're grabbing dessert and they're sneaking out the door. They're slowly trickling out. But I
Mhm.
said to clients, to avoid that, and you know you're not gonna have formalities, make your party 4 hours. Make your party 4 hours because you're gonna end with the packed dance floor. That's my
Right.
goal, to end with a packed dance floor with 4 hours because they're not necessarily tired, but they want more. They want a little more. They talk about the party so much. Oh my God, so much great time. I could keep dancing. That's what I want them to leave with that versus, damn, still here? Like, damn, still going? Like, and they expect us to be that high energy no matter what,
Right.
no matter what
Right.
the issue is. And I get it when you pay that much money, that's what you want to see. But in
It's very
reality, you
unrealistic.
need us to
Yeah.
navigate that and
Right.
let us give you the best flow and timeline for your party to give you the most. Because I do want to give you the most out of your dance floor. But there's a way to do it without killing the dancers, without killing the MC. DJs spin music like crazy now because they're and I love the way the music is now because the adults are in the '90s hip hop era. So all that like I don't lose the kids to Poison and Jump Around and Tricky. Like the kids are staying for that. Like I can
Mhm.
some of the kids are rapping Biggie and stuff like that. They know Mariah Carey Fantasy, so I can get a cool '90s hip hop and not lose the kids and still keep that engaged. Like that for me is like that's adding to the party, and
Right.
that's what's gonna stretch to to for the DJs that you could do a '90s hip hop set, spin a good amount of music, and not lose the kids. Now we can go back to top 40, spin that again. Now you have everyone. The only time we really don't have everyone is when the kids hip hop comes on. The adults are not really for the kids hip hop. You know, some crowds are, most crowds aren't. Like most of the crowd don't want to hear Travis Scott Fiend. The kids love it,
Right.
but the adult crowd, I always try to make that hip hop set when adults are eating. When adults are eating, that's really the time to do all the hip hop stuff, kind of boom, 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 boom. Get it to them, make so they know they heard it, they got it. But it's not for everyone. You know, the hip hop is brutal. Some of these days is like you can't even play some of it, and like even finding the clean version of some of this shit is
Yeah.
like this kids like how they even rap into any of this. I'm like, listen, you got 180 kids screaming out the dirty version, cool. But I was like, we can't play the dirty version of it, but you get the looks. You know, the outside guests are like, we're allowing like this is on their playlist. They don't even know, you know. So that's another thing too. I tell dancers too, like people go judge us. You know, when people like you can play the dirty version. No, I can't. They're like, no, no, our family loves it. My kid's cool. Play it. No, because you know what? Your guests don't know you're giving me this green light. Now they're gonna come into your party and they're gonna hear this shit and they're gonna be like, ooh, that DJ is playing blah blah blah, and there's 12-year-olds in the room, there's kids in the room, there's smaller kids in the room. I was like, no, that's my reputation you're playing with. I was like,
Right.
I can't, no matter how you feel about it, I can't do it. So you know, navigating these parties with people and navigating them with the kids in this new time period, best party is 4 hours, hands down. There's nothing better than a 4 hour party at this point because you end on a high note. But Sydney, this has been amazing. You have been awesome,
Thank
and I
you.
feel like we need a part two at some point to
Yes.
kind of go
Yes.
back into the
And I can
industry.
explain my business and all that I do. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like you know, this was
I know we didn't get a chance to talk about that,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Just we elaborated on a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, for me, this has been tremendous. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I
This was
hope I
great.
do, you know, we do get a chance to do that part too. And I hope I get a chance to work with you at some point through the industry
That would be
too, man. That'd be
fabulous.
cool too. You
Absolutely.
know, you have to come over to ET for a little bit, but that would be awesome to have you around. You are well known in this industry. You know, I did do some homework, and you know, you are well liked in this industry as
Thank
well.
you. I love being a team player. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so I got a good amount of that, and I was like, you know what, she
I
is
have
going to be someone
yeah, I
great to
have
have on the show.
very strong ethics. I'm probably one of the most ethical people you would meet in this industry. Hardworking, reliable, caring, team player. You
That's
know,
you.
those are all the things that
That's you.
made me
You hear
successful.
that,
Yeah.
people? So if you're looking for a strong female MC, dancer, or someone just to help supply your event and give you a great staff, this is where
Thank
to
you.
go. So
Thank you
again,
so
thank you
much.
guys for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Take care.
I know we could just go on and on. There's just so much information and so much